The technical divide. Okay. Invest in the right tool. Walk before you run. Use the right tool for the job. I mean, I agree with that to some extent, but I think there's another side to that. Is that we don't always know what the right tool is right away. So I think the idea of trying out a lot of different tools, do a little bit, take the time to test things. You may find out that instead of looking at just one tool, you'll actually use a variety of tools. That's certainly what I'm seeing out there in different organizations. They're trying a lot of different things, and in any one given project, they'll use a set of tools and functions. The next project, they'll use a different set. And the space really is evolving quickly out there. So again, I wouldn't be wedded necessarily to just one tool or the perfect tool. Try a lot of things. Use what works. You don't have to use them all the time. Use a little bit at a time. So here's a set of some comparisons on various tools. We've got the synchronous tools, the asynchronous tools, and then we're looking at it in terms of particularly useful, thumbs up, or not so useful, thumbs down in 4 areas: generating ideas, or for collecting ideas, data, routine problems with clear answers, complex problems without clear answers, and negotiating technical or interpersonal conflict. Again, if you look at the face-to-face meetings, we're saying, that's ideal for dealing with these situations. But, we're in this virtual space, we don't have that option all the time. But technology won't make people interact, it only gives them a forum. So if you want people to use technology to collaborate, let them get to know each other first. And again, this is one of those lessons we seem to be learning over and over again in a lot of different places, that it is a people business still. It's really the idea of a people business that is using technology to leverage the abilities of our people to work collaboratively. And we see it over and over again with the idea that teams that know each other really seem to be able to collaborate better than those teams that don't know each other, and again sort of devolve to not a team so much, but individuals working separately and then trying to integrate them. So developing a virtual team, it's the same as we talked about previously in the formation process. It works exactly the same way. We start from forming, go to storming, to norming, performing, and then we do have to finally adjourn. But if you think about those processes that we talked about before, it's exactly the same way with virtual teams. And the disadvantage we have in virtual teams, again, is we often don't have the visual space in order to work with. So we're somewhat at a disadvantage. So what are some of the things we can do to compensate for? So here's a couple of 4 ideas. So get it together. See if you can get some face-to-face meetings to get started. Again, we've seen this work. If you can't do that, can you do at least some interim? At least some of the subgroups that get together face-to-face. And maybe some representatives of the different areas meet face-to-face. Really try and see if you can get that going. Roll with it. Well, of course, role clarity. Let's be clear. One of the things that's difficult to do in the virtual space, which is often very easy to do when we're face to face, is just to say, "So, I'll be responsible for this, and can you do this?" And then we start to trust. And doing that in the virtual space, you really have to spend some time to make sure everyone's role is clear. Decide it. Assign those offline assignments. Remember, in many ways, we'll probably be offline a lot more than we're going to be online. So let's make sure that we spend the time together appropriately, and that does mean making sure that we understand what we're supposed to do and get the things we're supposed to do done when we are working on our own. And then, of course, let's have fun with it. Let's make sure that it is at least enjoyable to some extent. Now, it doesn't mean we party or necessarily do that kind of stuff. It says make it fun. And of course, we can have fun doing the work too. But the idea is let's figure out some ways that it's more enjoyable than not enjoyable. And I'll tell you, just one thing is keep it short as possible. One of the problems we often have, I think, when people take this have fun and maybe take it in a direction that doesn't work for everyone, is the things that for some people are enjoyable, say chit chat and things like that, just is excruciating for other people because they'd rather spend less time doing that, getting things done. So it's a balancing act. So we say have fun, but it means let's make sure we figure out ways of making it enjoyable for as many of us as possible. A couple ideas on this trust idea. If you remember, we briefly talked about that pyramid, Pat Lencioni's The 5 Dysfunctions of Teams, and the very first thing, the fundamental issue is the lack of trust. So building trust early on is important. And again, these are the kind of things that not always easy, even doing face-to-face, and it's even harder when we're not face-to-face. So a couple of things that suggested: coping with technical uncertainty. Technology is going to be an issue, so let's be aware that that's not going to happen if we can help each other out and understand that certain glitches are probably going to happen. We can take individual initiative to overcome that. If this doesn't work, well, I'll tell you what, let's do a phone call. We can't, well, let's do IM. It's just saying, look, let's come up with a way that we can do this together. And you almost have to go out of your way to make sure this happens in the virtual space, where it may be perfectly natural and easy for us to do when we're face-to-face. And again, the communication behaviors, the suggestion is the communication and enthusiasm. Oh my gosh, yeah, these things, this happened to me last time, we can overcome it. We got 3 different ways of doing it, so let's not worry. Those kind of issues. And the social communication, we are talking about developing relationships. Like it or not, it's about relationships. Now, it doesn't mean that we all have to be buds. That's not what we're talking about, a social communication. It just says that we come, it's more than just communicating words and facts and data. It's about saying there's an us here. We are a team. Maintaining trust. Again, the idea is we're moving from the social to the procedural to the task. Absolutely. We're looking for ways to build on the relationship that we're getting started. And I think positive leadership, again, leadership does not have to come from the quote official leader. It comes from everyone, every part of the team. So predictable communication, substantial and timely responses. This has to do with issues about the agreements that we make. Predictable communication, it can be as simple as, all emails will have a response, not necessarily an answer or a completed action, but a response within 24 hours. And that can just mean, I did receive it, I haven't had time to deal with it yet, but I did receive it. Those are some of the issues. We've probably dealt with this before, right? You send an email to someone, and it seems like it just went into outer space somewhere. You don't know where it is.